Let's talk about carbohydrates. I figured this would be a really good time because I'm about to go to the gym right now. I have my 5 eggs, I think, and I have my 1.5 cup of rice. So, carbohydrates. There's a lot of myths surrounding carbohydrates in the lifting community. I would like to say urban legend when it comes to carb cycling and whether or not you should be eating carbs on a cut and on a bulk. Let me just clarify by saying there is no peer-reviewed scientific evidence stating that carb cycling helps you physically on a cut, any way, shape, or form. There is no scientific evidence backing that. They have tested it, they have tried, and there is nothing showing that carb cycling helps you in any way at all. Now, what are carbs? Carbs are one of the three macronutrients. It's carbohydrates, lipids, which are fats, and protein. Lipids can give you energy. You're going to break that down into energy. Protein is used for building. Now, carbohydrates are going to be your main source of energy. When you have a carb, it breaks down in three ways. We talked about one of those ways in my video before about creatine, which is phosphocreatine. That's a way of making ATP. There's anaerobic glycolysis and oxidation phosphorylation. Both of these happen in the liver and the pancreas, where your glucose and glycogen is broken down through glycolysis, then brought into your mitochondria and turned into energy through ATP. Now, everything in this I'm talking about comes back to ATP when it comes to energy. So the reason carb cycling is not good for you is because your muscles need carbohydrates. Your body needs carbohydrates to make energy. It needs carbohydrates to rebuild and help put protein in there. Everything revolves around ATP and carbs. So should you cut back on your carb intake when you're on a cut? Absolutely. I would say eat clean rice. Pasta's fine. You should only have, as someone who is 18, 19, older, about 4 cups of rice a day is fine. You should be getting multiple forms of carbohydrates. There's carbohydrates in fruits and vegetables, and there's carbohydrates in pasta and other things like that, obviously breads, things like that. Now, types of carbs you should be ingesting. I'm eating white rice. That's fine. There's a reason brown rice is actually healthier, and that's because it has more whole grains. So what we want is grain and wheat. So I get whole wheat bread because wheat should be about 55 to 60% of the carb you intake on a daily basis. Real brown wheat. The reason for this is it's cleaner in your body, it breaks down, it has more nutrients and more fiber, and your body needs fiber. So I would say brown rice is mostly the better choice, darker pastas, whole wheat bread. And now the trick to knowing if you're getting real whole wheat, because these companies lie. If you look at whole wheat bread on a shelf and it just says on the front of the package, whole wheat bread, make sure you turn that package around, check the food label, and make sure it says whole wheat bread. Because if you don't, what the companies will do is they will take starch, dye it with molasses, and put it into the bread and say it's whole wheat because it turns it brown. But as a whole, you should not be on a carb-free diet. You probably get sick from it. Your body can't recover from lifting as well. And once again, I need to reinstate the fact that carb cycling, there's no scientific-backed, peer-reviewed research. It is just people on Instagram or TikTok, like where you're watching this,